I'm a fighter, always have been. In the ring and in business. 30 years of battles, rising, falling, rebuilding. I've made money, I've lost money, but it wasn't until I created Zapata Systems was I able to really climb my way out. But the toughest fight, it wasn't physical. It was watching money walk out the door week after week, whether to vendors charging too much or labor not justifying the revenue. That money stress, it doesn't always stay at work. It follows you home, turns into arguments, cold dinners, and broken peace. And then there's the IRS, back taxes, deadlines, pressure you can't punch your way out of. Zapata Systems shows you what you're really paying. It gives you control, leverage, and savings. This isn't about surviving. It's about winning. You're in a fight. Start acting like it. Zapata Systems. Fight smarter.
All right, guys, welcome. Another Movie Talk Week. What's going on? I'm Jersey Joe Zapata. I'm here with my team, the screenwriter, Rob Alvarenga. What's going on, Robbie?
What's going on, guys? Happy spooky season.
Of course, in spooky season, we got Dave DC Callari. What's up, Mr. Ghostbuster?
What's up? The spookiest time of the year.
Yes, and we will be having a Halloween special. We're going to be doing that. I think it's the 29th. It's a day before Halloween, actually. So we'll be doing that. We'll be doing a Halloween special. And I also wanted to talk about, Dave, you got your DC Unbox coming on every couple of weeks or so. What's coming up next? Do you have any idea?
I have the old Spengler's pack that came out a couple of years ago. I just picked it up last week. I was contemplating doing something with it, even though there's a ton of stuff out there, but I just spent the weekend weathering it up and painting it and getting it ready and trying to get some electronics in it. So it's weird. It's got a, it turns off after like 3 minutes. So I'm trying to install something that just lets it stay on the whole time.
Okay. Pretty cool. Then we had the debut of the writer's room last week that came. Very good. Very perfect. I saw everything was really cool. Everyone liked it. Everyone, please like and subscribe, leave a comment. It's really cool. And you'll see more of those coming up. I know, Rob, what do you got coming up? Something up coming up with that writer's room?
Definitely. I have definitely working on this episode 2. Where we talk about all the inspiration pieces to it and writing formats where it's like you're writing stuff based on public domain, which is a really interesting topic I'm excited to talk about.
All right, cool. So we look forward to that. All right, guys, so let's get started. Actually, the first thing I want to talk about is actually Avatar. You know that Fire and Ash trailer is coming out soon. They had actually a recent new one that just came out because we had a small teaser one, and then the official one came out, and it dropped, and everyone seems to love it. I saw it was action-packed. I couldn't believe it was only like 3 minutes, but it was like everything was jam-packed inside of that trailer. Rob, did you see the trailer? What did you think about it?
I did, and I was really blown away. I have to personally, remind myself like how good James Cameron is as a director, and how the movies he makes, they're really made for the theater experience. Like, you look at this trailer, it's like you just said, it's jam packed. The visuals are exploding. Like, you need to see this in IMAX or in the theaters and with the highest fidelity of sound and screen quality, because it's a lot. It's an assault on the senses. And it's like, I remember watching the first Avatar in the theaters and just like walking away like, wow, I felt like I was in that movie. You had the 3D effect, all that stuff there. And I don't know if that's still a thing with these Avatar movies, but man, that trailer is like, it gave you just enough to just blow you away, and then give you also enough to know what the story's about too. Mm-hmm. I like the angle because it's, you're going to bring back the humans at some point, and there's a reason for it. So this trailer gave you that too. I mean, man, James Cameron is by far one of the best directors, ever. He's up there, and he's showing it with his work now.
Yep. Dave, are you an Avatar fan? Did you enjoy that trailer?
I didn't see this one. When I saw that the new trailer, I was like, is it the same thing we saw in front of Superman?
No, this was extended version, the new one.
Okay. So I'm still, even if it looks as great as you guys are saying, I still feel like there's something about Avatar that's just missing for me. But Rob said the humans are coming back, so that's really one of the things I thought really brought the whole thing to life. Having both sides of the equation. I enjoyed the second one, but I felt the human element was missing. But yeah, I mean, listen, James Cameron could do no wrong. So even just because I don't like it doesn't mean it's not going to be good.
Yeah, he's a great actor, and I'm sure it's going to make money because everyone loves those Avatar movies.
Yeah.
So it's going to do well. So we'll wait and see when that comes out and drops. I think it's at the end of this year. I'm not sure. I think it's the end of the year. All right, a lot of the stuff coming out. All right, guys. So now let's talk about Spider-Man. Brand new day. Obviously, there's jam-packed with a lot of people in there. You got the Amazing Spider-Man shirt on. Now, it is official now. They cast Marvin Jones as the crime boy Tombstone. Now, I don't know too much about him. I know it's the same actor who played him in Into the Spider-Verse in the animated series, which is actually pretty interesting. Another casting, and everyone loves that role. I don't know too much about the character, to be honest. Dave, do you know about Tombstone? About what's going on with him?
A little bit, but the casting is fine. I liked his voice work in Spider-Man. I just get nervous that this thing is getting overstuffed. That's
100%.
That's my only concern.
You're right.
Like it seems all the casting choices are fantastic, but does everyone have screen time for you to care about them as a character? Like we know what these characters are, what they bring, but if you're not developing them on screen, it's kind of like we look at the way like Spider-Man 3 wasn't a great movie, but like the Venom character was just not really none of those villains in Spider-Man 3 were like kind of evolution, so it just kind of fell flat, and I would hate to see Tom Holland Spider-Man kind of have the same fate.
Yeah, this is getting jam-packed with a lot of people, and it is worrying me a little bit. Hulk's in it. We got Mr. Negative supposed to be in it, and then who else? We got Scorpion. So there's a lot of people jumping in this. Rob, what do you think about this? You're a big Spider-Man fan, about Marvin Jones's Tombstone.
Yeah, I think it's great that they actually gave the voice character from Into the Spider-Verse a chance to actually do it in live action. I'm always a fan of that because I feel like some of these voice actors, they do some pretty amazing work. And, if they even have a chance to actually bring that person in live action, I mean, give them a shot. They already know the character, So, but as far as this goes, I'm excited for the casting. It actually reminds me, this casting looks like it's going to mirror what Tombstone looks like in the video game, Marvel Spider-Man. If anyone that's played that game, he looks a lot like the Tombstone that's in there. And he's got the voice already, so that hasn't changed. I don't think this is going to be a major character, to be quite honest. I mean, I know a lot about Tombstone. He's had like really in-depth and impactful storylines in the whole in the run of Spider-Man in the comic books, but I don't think that's the focus of this movie. I think you're gonna have him, just for fanfare and stuff like that, and plus, they're gonna know him from the animated movie. But I think it's gonna be cool. Just like in the animated movie, by the way, he was in there, but it's not like he had a lot of lines. You just say, oh yeah, that's Tombstone, and he was just there for the fight and the visuals. I think you're gonna see something similar to that in the live action. So I'm not going too crazy. I don't think it's gonna be one of those characters that they just draw attention from what the real story is going to be about. It's cool that he's going to be in there, but honestly, I don't expect to see a lot of Tombstone in this movie.
Would you rather just be more just Spider-Man than all these other characters?
Oh, 100%. I mean, my thing, I said from jump, once they started, bringing in like these other characters, whatever have you, as far as like, Hulk, Punisher, all this stuff there, I get that there's a specific story they're going for. It would have been cool if it was just a solo Spider-Man movie. It's always been my position with this. So for now, you got to like really like today's point, really have to start containing this thing. Yeah, you could put these cool characters that we know either from comic books or from the video games or from other movies. But all right, let's just chill. I think some of these announcements are just gonna be just draw attention to the movie.
Yeah, we'll see. Well, we'll wait and see. Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out. I think it's late in the summer, right? Summer comes before it comes.
Week after Blade. It comes out the week after Blade.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Blade, we wait for that movie forever. We'll wait and see. The next thing we want to talk about, next topic, was James Gunn. Batman the Brave and the Bold with Damian Wayne is going to be in it, which I think is pretty cool. And James Gunn actually has come out and he says that everybody's reached out to him to be Batman. And I can see that why. He also, even I just heard today, the guy who played the High Evolutionary guy in Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Chuck Woody?
Yes.
Yeah.
He asked to be Brainiac. He asked James Gunn to be Brainiac. So that's
Okay.
He asked him. So all these people are asking James Gunn. I think everyone is on board with James Gunn right now because everyone wants to be in this. And Batman is a huge figure. And just like whoever's Batman is going to be, the bar is going to be raised. Christian Bale became Batman. Boom. Almost hurt Ben Affleck's career a little bit. But, Batman's a iconic figure. Dave, I want to start off with you. Why do you think all these people want to be Batman, and why is it an important role to pick?
It's just like Spider-Man. He's one of the most. If you get to pick the top 3 to 4, he's arguably 1 or 2 behind either Superman or Spider-Man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And really, most of those could be interchangeable. And I think some of it's just Gunn is just doing great work right now.
Yeah.
He's like, his track record speaks for itself. Like everything he's done previous to this, all the Guardian stuff, Suicide Squad, like that. I feel like Suicide Squad was him just being like, "Hey guys, this is what I'm going to do. So if you like it, I'm just going to do more of this."
Mm-hmm.
And Peacemaker's got me by the balls right now. So,
it's really great.
It's whether it's the stuff he's doing is very successful, and he seems to be easy to work with, and it's also, you can even see by the people he always brings into his productions. Like if he likes you and you guys work well together, he'll just keep putting you in things.
Yes,
so that's a pretty cool relationship to have. So, if he can really help the development of a Batman outside of what we might be getting with Matt Reeves, it's a slam dunk.
Yeah, and you could tell when James Gunn got fired from Marvel, Batista stood up and was like, "All right, I don't want to be this." And that's how much respect they have for that man, because they really, really enjoyed him, and he didn't even want to play Drax anymore.
Yeah.
Rob, Batman, Brave and the Bold, James Gunn, everyone wants to work for him. I mean, why do you think that everyone's calling him in Hollywood?
Well, he is a new hotness, 100%. He made David Corn Sweat like household name, and so who doesn't want that? With Batman in particular, it reminds me, for me, whenever there's going to be a new Batman cast, it reminds me when there's going to be a new James Bond to be cast. Every single actor out of the woodwork just says, "No, this is the role. This is the role that I need to have." Because yes, if you nail that role, that's sustainability. You're going to be that person for years to come. So you're going to have like secure, a stable paycheck coming in. And plus, also, I think that this is like a ground level thing. Like, this James Gunn's Batman is going to be very distinct from the Matt Reeves Batman. And he said it in the interview that this piece was that we're talking about in the article we're talking about, that he has a very specific vision for what his Batman's going to be. And he's going to have Damian Wayne. So that right there, that dynamic is going to be completely different. And also, James Gunn, I've said before, James Gunn has a certain style that he wants to bring out of his characters. So he gave Superman his own twist to it. That whole real Boy Scout type of corny yet innocent, relatable type of persona. Batman's going to be very different from any Batman that we've seen in the past because it's James Gunn. And so that's an opportunity for an actor, any actor that's excited about getting this role, to now really put a stamp on their version of Batman. It's a huge opportunity. It makes all the sense in the world that everybody's calling him up for this.
Yep. And I know we haven't talked base on it a lot, but Peacemaker's been great. I mean, Lex Luthor, did you see that cameo? That's been great, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, Lex Luthor, and it's supposed to be a big one at the last season, the last episode. It's supposed to be a big cameo. And you guys think who it could be? I think it's Superman.
I feel like they showed it. They showed who it was in the in like what's the next episode thing at the end, but I couldn't tell. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah,
Gunn will do anything.
Yeah, So it's a great series. I love it. I mean, I heard they're trying to do season 3 too. They're trying to get that in the works, but right now James Gunn says that's too much on the plate or something.
Yeah.
It's the story of these characters will continue, but it might not be season.
Correct. Yes, correct, 100%.
Which clearly the way he's interweaving everything, like that's fine because just put him in another movie or make a Peacemaker movie. I don't know. I don't care.
Yep. Yeah. I love James Gunn. I mean, and I love the podcast. I've been watching that too. His podcast.
Good, right?
It's really good. I mean,
good stuff.
Of the fans. Whatever they ask him, he's going to answer. Whatever you want to ask him, even on Instagram or whatever you ask him, he's going to answer your question, which I love about him. But yeah, it's really good podcast. Well, we'll wait and see what's going to happen. Who will be Batman and Batman, the Brave and the Bold. The final thing I want to talk about is obviously it dropped last week where we were doing it was the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. We talked briefly about it. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, obviously. And I did want to go back and touch this because I saw a lot of people were saying they're a little bit disappointed in the whole Mando Grogu trailer. And they were saying, I saw a lot of things online saying that this seems just like it's going to be season 3 of Mando, Mandalorian. And, I could see where they see that. But, Rob, you're a Star Wars fan also. You saw the trailer. I enjoyed the trailer. I thought it was pretty cool with the Walker. What do you think about some of the fans reacting, saying it's going to be a bust?
Honestly, it's a little confusing to me because you're saying that this is going to be season 3. Well, yeah, because I think we've mentioned this before on the show. There's got to be an endpoint to this saga, to the whole arc of the Mandalorian and Grogu. Where are we going with this? I believe this movie is to answer that. So, it's leading up to this particular moment. You don't need an extended season to do that. Honestly, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but even the reactions were like where we are in the Mandalorian series, first season, great. Second one, not as good, and it's like, so then why go down that trajectory if you already know how this story ends? Go out with a bang. This is the best way to do it. Make it a big movie and make it the definitive ending that both these characters deserve. So I don't know. It's really weird and confusing that I guess part of it is that they want to keep this thing going. Maybe they feel like this is the end. Yeah. But honestly, it's better this way. You don't want like 7 seasons of The Mandalorian and you forget 5 of them because you're like, it wasn't that great anymore. Come on. What are we talking about here?
Yeah, you got a good point, man. Dave, I don't know, are you a Mandalorian fan or a Star Wars?
I thought the first season was great. I thought the second season was okay, and what came after that was still just okay. It was kind of diminishing returns. The trailer looks fine. I don't know if people are looking at it in a way that, like, because with Disney and Marvel, like everything's filmed in a cupboard nowadays, right? Like you get everybody in a green screen room and you film it, so everything kind of looks the same. So it's gonna visually look like the show with a slightly bigger budget. Yep. I watched the trailer before we did this just so I could just brush up on it. Yeah, it looks just like an extension of the series, but I'm not really sure what else people would want because if you're gonna close the story out, like just continue where they left off and then finish it. Like I know this is old, but go back to the X-Files movie. That movie was a standalone movie, but it was pretty much a bookmark between season 5 and 6. Like you didn't need, you know what I mean? Like you can do that and still have it work. So I still maintain that Star Wars fans are the best and the worst. They want everything to be like the first trilogy and they get super excited. They get super excited about the new thing and they want the new thing to be different. And when the new thing is different, they're like, why it wasn't like the old thing?
Yep. You get that all the time, man. It's crazy. Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, I'm going to be there and watch it when it drops in the movie theater because I'm a big Star Wars fan. So we'll wait and see. All right, guys, let's just take a minute to have a word from our sponsor and we'll be right back.
The code never changes. That's why Straight Outta Jersey has partnered up with the Cosa Nostra brand. Not just a name, but a code you will wear on your chest. From the streets to the mic, we carry the same message. Respect is earned. Loyalty is everything. And silence is sacred.
All right, guys. I want to thank our sponsor right there. So we're going to hit the mailbag. And, after you guys did those 2 episodes, I've been getting flooded with emails going back and forth between writing and Ghostbuster stuff. So
Love it.
I've got a lot of questions.
So Rob has to write a Ghostbusters movie.
That's exactly right. Rob has to write a Ghostbusters.
Bring it on. Let's go.
So I'm just going to alternate because I had to sort through these, very quickly. So the first one, and Dave, you knew this one already, but here we go. It said, and his name is Dave also. Dave from New York. He says, hey, DC, if you can own one movie prop from any Ghostbusters film, what would it be?
Yeah, I thought about this. I think, honestly, it would probably be the car.
That's a good one.
Probably the car from Frozen Empire. Because if, I've just recently, a screen-used blaster went up from Ghostbusters 2 for auction. And while it's very cool, and I think it went for, 15,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's beat to hell. So anything that I have in the collection is going to be infinitely nicer and more display worthy. So if I wanted to have something really cool that's still somewhat functioning, would be the newest Ecto that they had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That vehicle, that hearse, is really hard to find in real life. It's really tough to find that.
Yeah, I feel like I was watching an interview with Jason Reitman from Afterlife, and he said something like, there's maybe 15 cars left. And they've bought 10 of them.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Something like that. They own a lot of what's still available.
Yeah, there's not enough in circulation. They're expensive. Yeah, pretty crazy. All right, Dave, that was his question. So now here we're going to go next one. This one is from Barry from South Jersey, and he says, Screenwriter Rob, a fellow writer myself, loved your segment. What was the toughest scene you have ever written and why?
Actually, that's a really good question, and it was actually not that long ago. The scene that it just pops in my head. It's something that we don't really think about when you're writing these stories. You think about just the overall, whether it's a horror, action, whatever. To remind yourself that your characters are humans, and humans will do humans things. So the scene that was tough for me to write without going I was worried whether it's going to go a little too much or whatever, is sex scene. Because it's
you can't just put some music in the back.
It got weird. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I don't want to make the left to Pornville. It's I'm trying to let me keep in the confines of the characters in the story, and there's a reason why this is happening. So yeah, that scene took me about a week to really get right, because every single thing was just felt really, is it too icky or just this is fake? No one's gonna buy this. So yeah, first sex scene I ever write.
Yeah, that makes sense. Even for an actor doing a scene like that, I guess it would be pretty tough.
100%.
So, yeah, so that's pretty tough. All right, pretty good. All right, we got next one. Greg G from West PA said, "Hey DC, I didn't even know this. I pre-ordered Ghostbusters Terror Dog statues on Big Bad Toy Store. Dude, it's sick. Go DC." Have you heard of this, Dave? I don't know. I don't know what it was. A Terror Dog. I was going to try and look it up.
Oh, the Terror Dogs were the dogs that
in the first movie.
Okay.
Okay. Big Bad Toy Store.
Popular, HalloweenCostumes.com just put out their own motorized Halloween decorations. They look super cool. If I had a place to put them, I would get them. But as much as I love the fact that Ghostbusters is still very much in the zeitgeist.
$875.
Can you put it on the screen or no?
No, I can't. I can grab it from my phone, but it's $875.
Ooh, for one or two of them?
Two of them. You get a set of dogs.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're pretty big.
You know what you gotta do, Dave.
That's the thing. It's the last thing I pre-ordered was the 84 pack, and even that's at $299, and whatever I spent on this thing just this week, it could get up there. I only have so much room, but the Terror Dogs are really cool. There's a lot of really great stuff that's coming out from a whole bunch of different manufacturers. So if you're a fan of almost anything nowadays, the licenses are robust. There's a lot of manufacturers that have hands in making things. So there's a lot of cool collectible stuff out there. The problem is some of the best stuff is so expensive.
Yeah. Big Bad Toy Store is a pretty good place too. I've gotten it before and shopped.
Yeah. They're really good.
Yeah, they're a pretty good place. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, check that out. Next one is Juan from Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. He says, hello, screenwriter Rob. I just subscribed recently. Great content. All of you seem down to earth. Can I ask you to start, when you start your scripts, with a character, an image, or a premise? Can I ask? Do you start your script with a character, an image, or a premise? Okay.
It's usually a premise. To be quite honest, it's more like it's one of those questions that you ask yourself, like, what if this happened here, or just making something up. What if an alien decides to sleep under my bed and I wake up the next morning and he's just like, hey, what's going on? We're new roomie, something things like that. I'm just making that up. That's a bad idea. Don't write that. But it's usually something along those lines. Like, I would say this. I take it from an approach of like, what would I like to see as a movie? That's usually where I start my ideas from. Like, wow, I haven't seen, a horror movie take place in this era, or that sort of those are things that where my premises come from, and it always starts with like, because remember, one of those things that I've always remember as an advice, that you write stories that scripts for movies that you would like to see. If you're not a fan of what you're writing about, then no one else is. Don't expect anyone else to be a fan of that either. So I think that's how I usually start my story ideas.
Okay, pretty cool. All right. This next question I put up here because I saw this recently too. So Alfred T, hold on. He says, have any of you seen the Russo's brothers cryptic message picture like Endgame? What do you guys think it could be? So I actually posted that up. I don't know if you saw that, Dave. I don't know if you saw that. I'm going to have the picture right here.
Yeah, I saw it.
Have you seen that right here?
Yeah, I think it's pretty obvious.
So I don't know. What do you guys think?
The chair?
Yeah, so he says, he puts on the bottom of this picture, he says, look hard. And I don't know who's sitting in the chair, Russo. Yeah. And he has something going on here. That's the picture. Just like, remember when he did that with Endgame and it's spelled Endgame?
Yep.
So I don't know what he says, but I do have actually one idea that I kind of thought of, and I heard someone else mention it. I thought it made sense. If you see the spotlight, it shines on three, looks like A's. Right?
On the frame.
On the frame, right? Which is 3 A's. So to me, now, Doomsday comes out in Christmas, 2026. There was supposed to be another movie in June on their board, but they removed it. Yeah, probably Blade. They removed it. So between June of 2026 to the end of 2027, the only next Marvel movie is Secret Wars.
Mm-hmm.
I think they may split Doomsday to 2 movies because it's so big. That's my idea, because it looks like it's 3 A's there. I'm just guessing this. I have no idea, but I heard someone else mention it as everyone was going through this image of Russo's that said, look hard, like he did a little clue. And that's what I think. And some people have been saying that's been really popular because apparently it's been very big with all these actors. And apparently it's been it's a 4-hour movie. So I don't know. They're trying to cut it down. So I think it may be split into 2 movies. That's my thought. But I don't know. Rob, you have any idea?
Yeah, I do have. I have a really good idea on this one here. I think first of all, I think you're right. And the third movie is going to be Avengers versus X-Men.
Yes, I heard that. Yes,
I saw, because that's the first thing I noticed. That whole on the left side of that picture, you see something slammed that looks like an A.
It looks like yes.
And so correct. That right there with the middle, and then the X's on those guardrail things on the right.
Yep.
To me, that looks like AVX. That's Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah, and we're probably thinking too much into it. But Dave, you have any idea what it could be?
No, but I was gonna say, you guys got to write it up before they start cutting it back.
They don't do scripts anymore. Come on.
Who's sitting in the chair? That's what I'm. Who's sitting in the chair?
It's the one of the Russo brothers.
All right.
Yeah.
That's who's
sitting. Joe or.
He's like, look hard, guys. I'm writing this out. I'm really doing it.
Yeah. Look, guys.
I don't know. The same thing is listen. If the third surprise is X-Men, that's really cool. It'd be great if we actually got to be surprised by that closer to when it hits. I just can't get this excited this far out and either be disappointed or I just kind of want to wait till it gets a little bit closer. Only because guys, I'm sad. Marvel's like letting me down a lot in the last couple of years.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
You know what I
I
mean?
don't blame you, man. I mean, let's get to Doomsday. Can we get to Doomsday?
And the other bummer is like what I said about the Mandalorian. Like, I know you have to film like this, but it's just a big green screen room with a bunch of stuff. Like, it's hard to get excited about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know, I saw an interview with Anthony Mackie, and he had said when they did Civil War, Robert Downey Jr. did a lot of rewrites that they switched that made the script better. So he says, and it kind of felt really good. And then he says the Russos were really hooked onto that. And he says it went carried over into, Endgame and Infinity War. So he goes, I have a feeling this is probably the same pattern.
Listen, Downey clearly. I mean, at that point, Downey's been the character for like 5 or 6 years.
Yep.
And the stories, the through line just kept going. So if you have someone who's good at what they do, good at their craft, and really is invested in the character, and sometimes the guys who have been playing the character as written by different writers know the character than whoever's going to write it next a little bit. So I'm fine with that. And I would love if whatever he's doing with Doom is also going to be good. It's just, like I said, we're just so far away.
Yeah. I think we're starting to see why he's getting paid like $80 million. It's not just for the role, I think. I think I think we mentioned it before. I think he has a major influence on what's going to happen with these Avenger movies. And to Dave's point, he's one of these rare actors that not only does he knows his character inside out, but he is invested in that universe. And so he has a feel for what this universe should do or look like or where it should go. And that's probably exactly what it is. He probably in the middle of shooting, he's like, guys, what are we doing? We have all this cast. Why don't we break it up and then give something totally unexpected, which is Avengers versus X-Men. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it kind of feels like, you have all the X-Men there, so why not?
Yeah, exactly right.
But if it is, you heard it here first.
There you go. Like and subscribe.
That's right. All right. Our next question here was from Tom from New York, and he says, were you fine with Egon's death, or should have been another character?
Like in Afterlife?
I guess.
I thought it was great. Like, I actually got a little teary-eyed when that happened. I don't know if I was completely expecting it, but I'm glad that they did it. And they did it. I think they did it the right way. I know some people are like, "Oh, it's weird." There was more people that I feel liked it, and it's still, I did a rewatch of everything recently, and it still holds up. Like, it doesn't look any weirder. I watched someone on YouTube put out like an hour and 20-minute documentary on all of the movies. One,
really?
2, Answer the Call, Afterlife, and Frozen Empire. Really, really in depth. And they kind of showed some of the footage on how they took the actor Rob Gunton, who played Egon, and then did all the scanning of him from his previous movies to like get the look right. It was really, really great. I think it was good. I think it was really good. You have to give him a sense. You can't just be like, oh, he died in the first 10 seconds of the movie. For someone who was as integral as obviously as Dan Aykroyd to get the whole franchise and universe up and running. You can't just let him go with nothing.
Yep, 100%. I thought it was good. All right, last one here. Jill K from Belleville, New Jersey says, Screenwriter Rob, what advice would you give someone like me who only writes on weekends because of work? I feel like I lose momentum. Love the show.
Yeah, no, I get that big time. I know where you are with that because even now, look, listen, I'm not a full-time screenwriter yet, but I got a job, I got a family, stuff like that, and finding time to write sometimes is a struggle. My thing is this, okay? As long as whether you're writing or whether you're thinking about your story or whether you're thinking about, okay, what are my next scenes that I'm going to work on, when you do have the time to come sit down and actually put those words together, that's all part of the writing process. You are writing, even if you are not actually typing anything. That's part of the writing process. If you're thinking proactively what to do next on your project, you are writing, and that's your momentum. That's the momentum you need to get through and finish your story. I always, that's one thing that I've been saying a lot here. You're going to hear me say it a lot in my segment in the writer's room. Keep writing, no matter what. Just keep writing, because It's when you stop writing, that's when it's really tough to get it back.
Yep.
You'll find time, your life will snowball on you really quick, and then you're like, oh yeah, I used to write, I used to, have all these great ideas and never went anywhere. You don't want to go there. If you are passionate, this is what you want to do, keep writing, no matter what.
Yep. Exactly right. That's good advice. And just like a YouTube channel, just keep putting out content. People will come. You'll get better. Shows might be good, but some of them will get better. Just be consistent. That's all you have to do. Just keep doing it.
I don't write scripts, but even when I'm writing songs, when I'm writing music, even if I'm not even if I have a song I'm working on and I get an idea, I'll try to just grab the guitar and just put a little segment on my little recorder so I don't forget it, and I can always just come back to it. So it's like, even if you don't have a dedicated time, like, hey, I'm going to work on my creative thing from like 8 to 9 on a Friday. It's like Rob said, if you're always in the creative process, even if you're not putting pen to paper or music to the computer or whatever, but you're just trying to evolve something and just taking a note so you don't forget it, like just keeps you engaged in like where you want the thing to go.
Yeah. It's funny, Dave, I got a question in the inbox that said, hey, isn't that the guy from Grant Street Cafe or something playing music in the band? I said, that's I've been there, because I guess you've been there. So he's like, hey, yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
So you
nice.
So people recognize you. All right, guys. So we'll go to the final section, which is the true and false section, and we'll see how this goes.
The worst humbler ever.
All right. So I don't know. I'll start off with Dave. Tom Hanks turned down the role of Jerry Maguire.
Oof.
False.
Yes.
It was true. It was true. He turned down that role. All right, Rob.
Yes.
The famous cat in The Godfather that Marlon Brando picks up was his son's pet. True or false?
That's just so weird and random. It's got to be true. That's not true.
That's false. He picked up the cat in the back of a set and just picked it up and wandering around. Yeah, really crazy, right? All right, Dave, this one. In Mad Max, the flaming guitar was an actually working guitar that shot real flames.
True.
That is true. 100% true.
That is badass.
All right, Rob. The longest sword fighting scene ever shot on a movie was The Princess's Bride.
Oh, shit.
At 3 minutes.
They do a lot of talking in that scene. I'm gonna go true.
Whew.
That is true.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I never saw all the like Errol Flynn, Robin Hood, or whatever. I'm like, I don't.
It's fun. I was thinking about that too, but I'm like, no, there's no way.
All right, Dave. One of my favorite movies here, V for Vendetta. One of my favorite movies. Natalie Portman really shaved her hair for that one scene.
I think that's true.
It's 100% true. All right, Rob. Emilio Estevez was offered the role in Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street.
Emilio Estevez and Wolf of Wall Street?
Yes.
No, that's false.
I think it's true.
That's false. That's false.
Yeah, that's Leo's thing.
All right, let's see. Dave. Tom Cruise was considered for Edward Scissorhands.
Oh God, was he? I don't think so. I think it would say false. Unbelievable.
He was offered Edward Scissorhands. All right, let's see. This one, Rob. I know Dave probably got this because I saw this too. Charlie Sheen was offered the role of Karate Kid.
I mean, that would go with true. Let's go true.
That's true. If you saw the his documentary, which I saw.
Yeah. I was just thinking about that. I was like, it's got to be true.
Finally, last one. This might be a tough one. I don't know. Prince Harry was an extra stormtrooper in The Last Jedi.
Oh.
gonna say it's true. Probably weaseled his way on set.
That's true.
Yeah. That's good.
That's true. He was offered a role in he played an extra. So was Daniel Craig, if you know that from
Yes.
He
Yes.
was also
Yeah. Force Awakens.
Yes, when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's pretty interesting too. All right, guys. Well, that's it. Another great week, guys. I will talk to you guys next week, brothers.
Yep.
You got it, guys.
All right.
Started from nothing. Jersey streets, we owned it. Jay-Z pumping iron. Bodybuilder coding. Years on the course.